Hello guys. Welcome to Q&A Hub. Hope you like our videos. If so, don't forget to like and hit the subscribe button for more amazing videos. Let's jump to our today's video. Harass me for 18 months? No big. Say one negative thing about my love? I'll have your job. Long post. I've debated whether to post this for a while. Y'all will tell me, please, if you think it doesn't belong here. I've been a waitress for a few years now, and this happened at my last restaurant, from December 2014, when I was hired, to May 2016, when I had enough. So y'all can follow along. The players in this month's long drama are C. Long-term, cool, I'm fair but I take no shit GM. A. Kinda chill GM. J. The source of my misery, and low man on the management totem pole. E. One of the cooks, who was more than a cook to me. I was hired on the spot, and kinda thrown into working without being introduced around. No big. About a week after I start, the assistant manager, J, is introduced to me. I don't like her on site, but I can't say why. Sometime in the few days after that, when she sees me running through the kitchen, J calls after me, slow down, thunder thighs. Oh, no. I stop short and back up a few feet. I put on my best mom glare, RBF combo. What did you just call me? Let me pause here and tell you, I'm fat. I'm not chunky or chubby or THICC. I'm well into mega chonk territory, teetering close to oh, lord, she comin'. Meanwhile, Jay has a dirty Q-tip aesthetic. Nothing against skinny, I just hate this particular skinny chick's guts. She hears me and starts sputtering and backpedaling. I just meant because you were running. It doesn't mean I think you're fat or anything. Come on, lady. Blind people can see I'm fat. It's no secret. I tell her I don't care why she said it, I expect her to call me by my name. This, I could have let slide. I'm not unreasonable, mostly. I let it slide when I had to tell her on 2 more occasions to stop calling me thunder thighs. To shorten this story, following is a quick list of things I let slide. Told me most of her friends were big girls, and that she thought we were gonna be besties. Oh. There's why I instinctively didn't like you. Asked what was wrong with my face during a bout of acne. Came to work wearing a blouse and pants. Disappeared mid-shift. I found her in the public restroom, trying on a dress. Told me my walk needed to change because my hair was too whippy. Repeatedly crawled up my ass about my facial piercings being out of uniform, while dismissing her own noncompliance with the same policy. Demanded I explain my job duties, though I had been employed a year already, was cross-trained, and did my jobs quite well. Screamed, "What the fuck do you want me to do about it?" in my face when I told her there was a possible gas leak I could smell in the dish pit. Regarding an extended absence due to problems with my foot, she repeatedly asked if I had foot spores. She couldn't tell me what this meant, and screamed for me to Google it. So I did. I had to tell her that, while it's not any of her business, I did not have athlete's foot and the days off had been because of surgical scarring. The absence had been approved by C, the GM. All of this, I let slide. Occasionally, I spoke with the GM and AGM about the problems, both separately and together. At this point, it was more of a dude, you won't believe what this idiot did now, because I really wasn't concerned. Approximately 18 months into my employment, things went south. I believe you have the right to your opinions, however effed up they may be. You just don't need to voice those opinions, and certainly not in a work environment, and extra certainly not within hearing of the general public. Over the course of a few weeks, she offered up her political opinions about gay marriage, she's against it. Surprised? Me, neither, and later, about transgenders, guess what she thinks? Well, that was just about the final straw for me. I had a serious discussion with A, who encouraged me to start writing stuff down. I admit I procrastinated because I didn't want to deal with the repercussions if J wasn't terminated. The final straw was when she turned on E. He was a cook, and his job mostly consisted of standing over a hot-as-balls steam table in a restaurant with a broken AC unit. Did he sweat? You betcha. Did he sweat a lot? Gah. Yes. E would sweat like he was a pig on its way to a barbecue in August. Poor man was, at times, the moistest, most moist person I ever knew. He would sweat like he had a circumcision scheduled in the morning. E did his job well and without complaint. At the end of our shift, he quietly came from the kitchen to the soda fountain and fixed a glass of water. He chugged it down and fixed another. With a repulsed sneer in her voice, Jay said, "E, why you sweatin' so much?" That was enough. I loved E. I didn't treat him as well as I should have, but I loved him and I was damned if anyone was gonna criticize him. I wrote a scathing, 3-page letter to corporate when I got home that night, detailing every instance of Jay's toxic behavior, and turned it in the next day. I was told that our field manager, from out of state, called Jay and told her she had a week to file her resignation or he was going to fire her. She gave her 2 weeks' notice, but was gone in 3 days. Unfortunately for C, A was on a month-long trip out of the country, so C was forced to work 4 a.m. to 10 p.m. daily until A's return. By the 4th week, C was a little loopy from lack of sleep, but still managed to find the mental acuity to randomly yell across the restaurant, "I'd like to give a shout out to my girl, Sar 2A2 without whom we wouldn't be happy today," as she'd been yelling several times a week. I worked for the company another year before I moved on. It wasn't idyllic, but the new assistant manager was much better at his job. Last I heard, Jay was an assistant manager at a fast food restaurant, and took a serious pay cut to get the job. The only downside to my story is he passed away a few months after I left. His last memory of me was less than stellar, and I will carry the guilt and grief of that forever. But I know I did right by him, when I once made a stand for him that he couldn't make for himself. TLDR, assistant manager harasses me over a period of months, does not bother me. Says one wrong thing about dude I loved, so I used the harassment against her and she left the job. Let's move to comments section. Oh lord, she's coming. My sides. You've broken them. Tip for ya. Don't read that bit of the post in the middle of a lecture. It's impossible to hide an erection. I can hide them just fine, thank you very much, less than hands on hips greater than. You didn't get her fired. She got her own stupid self fired. If all you say is true, she should have been gone long before she was. I am so sorry to hear they passed on. Was it old age or illness or accident related? Best guess was accident related, long term, 10 years or so before I met him, he was hit by a car. He died from an aneurysm that probably occurred because of the accident, dragged by a car, month-long coma. He was happy while he was here, and he knew I loved him. That's what matters now. I appreciate your sympathy, though. As long as he knew that, and passed on knowing that, you have no reason to feel guilty over what transpired before he shuffled off this mortal coil. Kudos to you for sticking up for him, your courage, and your love. The only downside to my story is he passed away a few months after I left. His last memory of me was less than stellar, and I will carry the guilt and grief of that forever. Do you remember the cringy things people did to you in school? Well, they don't remember your bad moments either. If he was as good a guy as you say, he remembers you at your best. Upvote for the most country-style post I have ever seen. Ha 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 ha. I don't know if that's aimed at the assistant manager or me, but I'll take it. Your language makes me think you are from the South myself, is that the case? Great, and sad, story, thanks for sharing. Technically the South, yes. I live in Virginia. Did anyone else read dishpit as dipshit and get really confused? Same. I was editing before posting, and I had to pause there, too. I hope you write more. This cracked me up and it was well written. So sorry about E, your writing really reflects how much you cared for him. Are you writing the great American novel in your spare time? If not, you should be. Your writing is incredible. Good on you for standing against a bigoted tyrant. And I love the way you wrote this. I like you and your personality. I have THICC thighs too, and this is TMI, but I just got this powder from Lush that I'm really excited to try. You do you, it seems like it's always worked out that way. You stood up for E, and that's important. I'm really sorry about the way he was treated by others, and his passing. Maybe you can put some flowers on his grave. Either way, he isn't slaving over a hot stove all day anymore. Like he had one scheduled. He already was. Had it done when he was a baby, no doubt. But we did have a couple conversations about his belief that the doctors stole his penis while he was in a coma, and gave him someone else's in exchange. Wait. Why did he think the doctors switched out his penis when he was in a coma? He would sweat like he had a circumcision scheduled in the morning, made me giggle. You're funny and tell a good story. I normally have trouble reading long posts but not this one. While I don't think her political views are necessarily wrong, that is something you should not bring up in front of customers. As a chubby trans male, I would just love to meet Jay and talk to her for a few minutes. I pass so well that I actually shock people who don't know. Her jaw would be on the damned floor. I would pay good money to see that interaction. This is a terrible management setup. You don't need 3 managers. She was going to get fired either way, right? Her position was redundant. Lucky you could give her a nudge before C didn't have to. Great story, by the way. Def not true. My work has 4 managers, 1 GM and 3 regular, and we def need all 4 of them so none of them get burnt out. If only 1 manager is assigned to the restaurant, that manager works 18-hour days, every day. No time off. If 2 managers are assigned to the restaurant, both managers work 9-hour days, every day. No time off. Or, they alternate 1 or 2 18-hour days, in order to give their co-manager days off. 3 managers assigned to a restaurant are minimal, allowing each manager to have 2 scheduled days off and 1 day per week with 3 managers throughout the day. In a well-managed restaurant, this day would invariably be the busiest day of the week. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more future updates.